Go furry.
What did you say? Go furry?
No, go fur eat it.
Oh, okay.
You ain't
All
gonna
right.
hear no unless I'm making fun of it. You ain't gonna hear the word furry come out of my mouth.
I'm like, I don't know about go furry or not.
Man.
One Medical is the modern doctor's
Oh
office
hell,
for
damn
everybody
commercial.
and every lifestyle.
This just in. Breaking news.
Really?
This just in, breaking news.
Breaking news. The furries have escaped.
Oh, I've been. There's a new series on. Well, there's a couple kind of. There's a new series on Netflix, and it's called Outlast. And there's 16 people, and they get dumped in the wilderness in Alaska, and they separate these guys into teams of 4, and they have Alpha, Beta, Data, and Charlie, and whatever.
Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta, Flamingo, all furry.
Yeah, and the whole thing of this is whatever team lasts the longest. And the thing is, you can't say 3 people quit in your team and you're the only one left. You have to go to the other teams and ask them if you can join their team. If nobody wants you there, then you have to signal the flare to leave. So there's no lone wolf in it.
Oh.
It starts out, everybody's freezing cold and whatnot, and they get like a tarp and a flint and steel and an axe and a little bit of tools in this, and then they all go out and look for their camp area, and they have to stay in this area that's pardoned off for that group, and they have to build a shelter in that group. So what they end up doing is because it's going to drop in the 30s, so they have to make a shelter and make a fire. Well, everybody's out there trying to, and this is the southern part of Alaska, which is very wet, and and these are there are some survivalists in there, and so many people are trying to start fires. They're trying to get all kinds of stuff, trying to get a fire started. Couple people actually were half intelligent, and because you get a first aid kit, and normally in first aid kits there's cotton balls and gauze and stuff like that, so they use that to start the fire. Other ones didn't figure this out, and it took them a few days to do it. But then the next thing they have to worry about the next day is water. So they look for, because the main water place where they're in is a cove, and it's ocean water, and they go looking for a spring or something. Very first person sees a stream. Oh, fresh water. Let me taste it.
Oh no.
Yep. And that's the first person to leave, because that night she puked, and it was bad. And she tapped out. She shot her flare. Then one of the guys from one team decided to go to another team, and he took all of his stuff and left in the middle of nowhere, and that pissed off his teammates. Teammates came over and was hollering and screaming at him. When this was going on, another team from the other side says, well, I know how we can we can get this to work
Hey,
faster.
look, it's Shift Kicker.
Let's
the
go
one
across
and
the
only
way and
robot that
steal
will kick your butt.
the other team's sleeping bags. So they go in and steal all their sleeping bags.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Lake Fairy has appeared.
Oh,
You got
my bad.
people coming in the room.
Yeah, but-
Okay.
and what they go and do, which is very bad. I mean, this is something. Not only are you because there is no rule that you can't do this, but the fact that they went over there and stole their sleeping bags and stuff, being that it gets below 30 degrees out there, that was a low, and that's people. That's how people are going to be, and and these people do all kinds of stuff like this, evil things. And there's one group that was the worst of the bunch, and they ended up kind of turning on each other in that group, but it just
It's a good thing.
the whole thing kind of is like a wake-up call of what is coming. If something like this has happened, this is some of the stuff that you're going to have to deal with. People come and stealing your stuff. They don't care if you're going to freeze at night, as long as they get the reward at the end.
Exactly. But I bet you none of them is Uber drivers either. I'm sorry, I got a thing going on with Uber. But well, I mean, really, if you want to think about it, and I hate pushing movies like this. The Walking Dead, that's what happened. It seemed like in every one of theirs that they run up with.
What was the worst thing? It wasn't the zombies.
No, it was the people turning on one another.
It was mankind was the worst thing of that group.
Yeah. But that's what you're going to be facing, regardless. Yeah. And it's not, I don't think it's going to be just mankind turning on one another, because everything will be polluted in a manner of speaking. Your water, your food, except for what you got stored up. And for people, look, I'm sorry, but 2-3 years ago, somebody was showing on YouTube or said on YouTube, do not show people what you got. Because if something happens, guess where they're going to come to first? And it makes you think, they right. And, let's say EMP or something like that goes, and there is somebody living close to you who knows you. Hey, I know where we can get some food. I know where we can get some of this. I know where we can get some of that. But we're going to need about 4 or 5 people to do this. And
that's the thing. They plan this stuff out. They sit there and how do we get to end this quickly? Mm-hmm. And they said, well, if we take their sleeping bags, they're going to freeze at night, so they'll tap out. Well, they didn't tap out right away. I kind of don't want to give away the whole thing, but it's something. It's kind of educational. And there are people that tapped out because they didn't want to go and be that evil. They wanted to have some morals to them.
Yeah.
And there are going to be people like that too, that they can't deal with being that way, so they'll basically tap out.
There's going to be people out there who don't want people to succeed. to
Oh yeah.
let's say live through something like this. Okay, you know,
And
but
they had two teams that were coming together, and they had to go across the bay, and they had these little reward things that they got. They got 3 inner tubes, and they can float little rafts that they can float back and forth. Well, they said, well, "Oh, this is our time. When he goes over there to get their stuff, we'll go over and steal all this stuff from his camp. And when they come over, they won't have a camp." Well, they seen them running over there and taking their stuff, so he runs over there, and evidently you can't touch people because, yeah,
really,
and this guy, because it was against these, and what it was women were the most evil on this experiment thing they were doing. And the women would go over there and they would take it, and they said, "Well, you can't touch me. You can't touch a woman." And you know that. And she goes out there and starts cutting and stabbing the guy's raft and breaking his inner tubes. And,
well, I might not be able to touch you, but that rope sure can. It can tie you to a tree.
yeah, the thing that
That's you.
oh
Yep. There you go. Oh no! Whoa!
Thank you for the super chat there.
Now let me ask you this: will it grow? Before I really open up my mouth, are you male or female?
He's a male.
Asshole.
But yeah, I guarantee you, I wouldn't do anything physical, but there is a very cold bay, and I guarantee you, I would have tossed that girl in there, and she would have had a heck of a time that night because she would have been really cold.
But you can't touch a person.
Well, that's because because they were fighting over floaties, and they were pulling on it, and she said, "Stop touching me. You're not supposed to touch me." And then she's grabbing on him, so that would have been tossed in the water, or I'd got a bucket of water and started splashing her.
Uh-huh. Okay, Autumn Leaf wants to know, is this a TV show you're talking about?
Yeah, it's called Outlast. It's on Netflix.
Ah.
And I was getting ready to cancel Netflix because I haven't seen anything good on there for a month or so. So I was getting ready to cancel it. And then if something comes up, I was going to wait until the season was over and then get it and then binge watch it.
Hello, TH2.
There is another show that just popped up on the feed that I seen, and it's called Snowflakes.
Oh no! Please tell me.
Yep, they take snowflakes out in the boonies, and I've only on the first episode, but I was cracking up laughing. They take them out there, and they're snowflakes. They're kids they're the definition of snowflakes. And the cars drop them off, and they're like, "Oh my God, the ground, it's dirty," because they're on a dirt road. And they say, "Oh, everybody, you're standing in the green stuff." They're talking about grass. Oh no, that's even worse.
I'm gonna have to get Netflix back. I want to see this Snowflake.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good show to watch because there's only been one person quit. I'm not sure what's making them not all quit, because more than likely you get 10 snowflakes together, they're all going to quit. So I'm not sure what's making them not quit.
could have fun myself with that.
Oh, they had all their luggage and stuff, and they said, well, you have dry bags. They take out the boots and then put all your essential stuff that you would need to survive in this bag. And then we'll take all your luggage and meet you over at the camp. And they said, where you have to go, you have to walk through here and keep going. And it's anyways, they had to walk through like swamp and some stuff. And they get there and saying, well, let's kind of teach you a lesson. And he says, you guys got everything you needed to survive. And he says, is there anything really important? And they're like, oh yeah, my Gucci bag's in there, and my eyeliner and all kinds of stuff. And they blew it up. And all of them were crying.
Dude, it's about like snipe hunting.
Oh.
Oh, hey, 101. You ever get a chance, come on down here. Snipes are starting to run pretty good out here. It's the season for it.
Anyways, guys, we are actually streaming on three platforms and 2 channels. I'm streaming here on this channel. You're here. Twitch and Rumble. And Jeff is streaming on his channel over there. All at the same time.
I don't have the channels like that. But I may before it's over with. Oh. And hello, little lone prepper. Shift kicker. Ruben D, I'm going to tell you, if you're anywhere close to 101, he's dying to go snipe hunting. He ain't never been. Wait a minute. Is that why we gave out so many cookies? Be charming. Is that for the snowflakes or for the snipes? Hey, wait a minute. Lake Ferry, y'all are eating dinner at the table with your telephones. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Bigfoot Lake is on my channel and you're on Bushcraft. How does the sound on that work out? Because normally there is an echo.
It's in stereo now.
Oh, you see what Sniffer posted?
Where at?
Well, just okay. Bear truth, we are on alert 1, meaning we are on high alert status on the submarine. I can understand why.
There you go. His sound is off and hers is on.
And then how you hearing what we're saying? How did you know what I just said?
Well, if they're at the same area, they can hear both of us at the same time.
Yeah, but she just said that both of them sound is turned off. Did you hit that mute button? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh,
I figured out what the mute button on the remote control is for. And, if you got a friend who can't hear that good, just hit the mute button and you feel right at home. Like Bobby. Thank you.
Well, I kind of wanted to go over because I made a video the other day about canned food because I've been seeing a lot of videos here lately to
I see that.
preppers. They call themselves preppers, and they're giving out false information, and it's information that you can go and check. But I don't know if like one prepper is saying, "Oh, this is good stuff," and another prepper hears this guy, so oh, it must be true since he said it. So I'll copy him and put the same information out. Well, I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff coming out of the community. And it was about canned food. It was 5 canned food or 5 canned foods you want to prep. And the first one he comes up is corned beef. And it's the the old little twist key thing, which is better than the pop top. I'm not saying it isn't, but he was saying, well, this will never go bad. You can keep it in the can 20 years down the road, it'll be good. And that's just not true. Those seals will actually go bad on that can way before that 20 years comes. And another thing, the next thing he brings out is a chicken, and it's a pop top, and he says this will stay good for 20 years. And I'm like, why are you telling people this? This is not true. Because even the pop tops, it'll say they're good for 2 to 3 years when you buy
Tops.
it. That's it, and then the seal fails.
Cool.
And this is in perfect conditions, like for those in the Northeast or wherever has basements, to where your temperature is staying the same temperature year round. You put the stuff in there and it stays at a certain temperature. That's perfect temperature, and they will still fail. It's that seal, it's only meant to last so long and then pop, and then it gets a little bit of air in there, and that air has some kind of contaminant in there that grows mold in there, and then boom, the can starts bubbling, and you push down on it, and then by the time you open it, it's spoiled. And then that's why I said the cans that you want, and the cans nowadays, they have one spot that it can come out, and it's a sealed can. It's not a pop top where you need an actual can opener to open it up, and the seal is on the side. And if you see rust or stuff leaking out of it or whatnot, then the can's no good. And that's why I did the video, is to try to explain different things about canned food, that a lot of things you see out there are just not. They're giving you false information, and you can learn this stuff. You have the internet to where you can actually type this stuff up. And I've went and did studies on. Well, I didn't do the studies, but I looked up the studies on what cans last longer. The tin ones or the aluminum ones, the pop top ones, the key crank ones, and the ones that last the longest are the tin ones, that are, because all cans are coated, that have only one point of weakness, and that's a top rim.
I don't want to exactly change the subject going on. We're going to jump back. Be charming. I've reached the point that I need to freeze dry some of my canned preps. Dates are coming, and I have pop tops on some things.
Yeah.
Now, I have canned frozen vegetables and stuff like that, which was pretty good. But if you got a freeze dryer, I'm going to say 100% go for it.
Oh yeah.
You know, freeze dried, I think, don't quote me, but I think would be better than canning. But I just don't have the
Oh yeah.
funds to
If you
buy
can
a freeze
afford
dryer.
you can afford the machine, I wouldn't can anything. Or
Yeah.
I would dry can, but I would actually, put all the stuff inside of a can or a Mylar bag for a meal and then seal it up. But yeah, freeze dried would be the best way.
Yeah. By far means.
Oh yeah.
Some of the stuff I've read on it and everything, freeze dryer will outlast canned foods for many,
and,
many
and,
years.
and that's the thing. It all depends on how you prepare it, for storage and how you store it. Like if you store it in your house and your house goes up above 65 degrees, you're going to contaminate that food. And
If you
goes
freeze
below,
dry,
even freeze dried.
huh? Okay.
And that's the thing where and it doesn't necessarily mean that as soon as it gets that way. This is like we'll go for canned goods, like the stuff that you would can in a jar, for canning.
Okay.
If you put it on your shelf, like upstairs in your house, and there's a real hot day and you have your AC on and everything, and it's still, you go in there and you have a thermometer in your cupboard and it says 75 degrees. Well, the stuff in that jar is going to start getting cloudy, and then that's where it breaks down the seal in there to where it starts changing its structure, whatever it is. It could be canned tomatoes or something. It starts changing that ingredient to where it'll start working away at the seal. And once that seal goes, then poof, you now have spoiled food. And that's the same thing even with cans. It's not so much because also sunlight can actually do the same thing. Sunlight, the rays of the sun going through the jar will actually do stuff to it.
Okay.
That's why they say it's the perfect temperature is around 55 to 60 degrees. Anything over 65, it starts changing the structure of whatever's in there. And it depends on what it is that's in there too. Stuff with low acid takes longer, and stuff with high acid takes less time to eat through that little seal on top of that lid. And used to be a thing where they would study how long because they'd increase the heat and then lower it and see what things would break the seal first and whatnot. And I haven't seen that show in a long time.
Okay.
It was on educational TV too at that time.
Now, B. Charman also says after freeze drying, I vacuum seal with O2 absorber in a Mylar bag.
Yeah.
Which I can't see nothing wrong with that at all.
No. Yeah, that's the way I would do it if I had a freeze dryer. I'd freeze dry lasagna or something and then put it in there, seal it up, and then if you just pour some hot water in there to get it hydrated, seal it back up, and then you got lasagna.
Okay, now Twisted Lemon Dairy. Please forgive me if I mispronounced it. I'm curious about dry food. I have so much in bins, pasta and everything is good, but past 2 years date. Keep sealed in a cool, dry place. Now, pasta, if you're keeping in a regulated area, I cannot see is where pasta really can go bad.
That's the thing. What did you do to prepare that pasta for however you stored it?
Okay.
Just like flour, just like rice, just like beans, there are things in your food. When you get a box of pasta, it's not sealed in plastic.
No,
You put it
it's
in a
not.
box, which has holes and stuff in there. So unless you take it home and stick it in the freezer and kill off the bugs that are in that and stuff like that, if you put said pasta without making sure that there's nothing in there in a bag, eventually that stuff will hatch and it will feed on whatever's in there, and then it'll poop and it's usually weevils and stuff like that, but that will contaminate your pasta.
Well, I put mine in glass jars, threw a O2 absorber in it, and vacuum sealed the crap out of it. I did not put mine in the freezer
Yeah.
because I did not know that at the time.
Yeah, it's got bugs in it.
Well, I know it's got bugs in it, but I figured, you vacuum seal that bad boy. It should. This before I started hearing about bugs and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the thing.
Temperature
I've
just dropped.
also seen these preppers say that you seal your sugar and your salt up, and you put vacuum or oxygen absorbers in that. And no, you don't need to, especially salt. But the thing is, if you take all oxygen out of salt and sugar, you end up with a brick.
Well, now I'm gonna be straight up. I've heard about that. Yeah. I took a 2 pound, 4 cups of sugar. I put it in a Mylar bag just to see what would happen. Okay. I can slam that thing up against the wall now and put a dent in the wall, and nothing will happen to the sugar.
Yeah.
So therefore, what they are telling you is the truth. It will become a brick. You can use that as a weapon. Okay. Put it in a sock. And I'm not saying no more. Y'all can figure that out. But I tell you what, on my stream Thursday, if I don't forget, I will show you that bag of sugar. I've not done the salt yet.
Yeah, and I've been doing some research on salt, and it's very unhealthy.
But
now this is not all salt. This is not all salt. This is salt that they dredge up from the ocean, and they take the water out of it. And what they do is they have to bleach the salt. So they use chlorine to bleach it. So they add a chemical, and they add another chemical to make sure it doesn't stick to each other, the crystals. So there's 2 chemicals they're already adding to it. And then they add iodine to it. And some people have issues with iodine. They add all this stuff to the salt, and that's the table salt that you get in the little round tubes. And like I said, it's not all salt, but this is a salt that they they get that's nice and the white salt and whatnot. And that's the chemicals they used to get it to your table.
Well, now, let me say something on this right here. Regardless, some of the salt is bad. I will agree. But your body, wait a minute, I'm jumping the gun here. Iodized salt is good for two things also. It's also good for seasoning your food if you're using the right one. And it is also good for your body because everybody needs salt. Salt slows up cramping process. You know, let's say it's summertime. You out there, you busting your tail. You sweating you sweating bad. Okay. You start cramping. You know, a little bit of salt will slow it down.
There's Cashew over on Twitch.
She's on Twitch. But
Yeah.
now, too much salt can do your body harm also.
Yeah.
You know, so just do salt in moderation. I'm gonna say that, and I would say that Bushcraft may disagree with me. I would say iodized salt because that's what your body needs is iodized, you know, chemicals.
Well, the thing is, there's some people that can't have that.
You're right.
You can't take it out of the salt, so they need salt, and you only have iodized salt. What are you going to do? There are other ways of getting salt, though, other than the ocean and whatnot. But the thing is, and that's what you have to prepare for. And a lot of people don't think of spices and things like that when it comes to prepping. I got my beans, I got my rice.
Oh shit! You better have some fat back and bacon.
What about garlic and
well,
chili powder, all that stuff that you can make. You can make all that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Susie D, you don't sweat. You are the second person I've run across in my life that does not sweat.
That's not good.
No. But seeing as how Bushcraft just brought this up, I know spices, it is expensive depending on what you get, but he is correct 100%. Everybody needs spices, like that right there.
We can see you over there, like it's all your chat shows up except for Rumbles. Rumble doesn't show up.
Oh, really?
There's nobody over at Rumble. There's one person watching then. No, there's two people watching on Rumble. Hi, people on Rumble.
Yes. Pickle juice, dill pickle juice also helps with cramps big time.
Mustard?
Yeah, mustard helps with cramps, and it also helps with burns too.
You can keep that.
Well, yes and no. Okay. I got broke of mustard years ago because I would go and get me a hot dog, all the way or whatever. And hell, they would kill the hot dog with half a jar of mustard on that thing. I want to taste the dog, the slaw, and the chili. I don't want to taste nothing but mustard. Good God Almighty. I put mustard on my own stuff. I think I'll take a toothpick full of mustard and put on something now. But I'm not talking about no 3rd degree burn. I'm talking first to second.
Oh yeah.
Put your little mustard on it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have mustard, so yeah.
Hey, go in the
Don't
next
touch
room why I talk. Okay, I know you and 101 don't like mustard, so
Yeah.
just go in the
Good for
other
burns.
room.
Anything
But-
that looks like baby poop, I'm not going to put on my hot dog.
But I am going to tell you this. If anybody has gotten a blister from a hot pot or something like that, and I will put it like this, it's going to burn like crazy. But
It'll
that's
make that
the
burn sound.
when that burn stops, it won't be no more burning. It takes it all out. So yeah. Let's see. I'm reading chat.
Yeah, garlic is really good.
Oh, yeah. I started to say something, and I better. No, I can't say nothing like that.
Ew.
What? Did you say?
You can keep that mustard to yourself.
Boy, it sounds like to me, you and me may have a disagreement if we ever got together in a shift situation.
Well, how long do you think your mustard's going to last?
A lot longer than mayonnaise.
No, I got chicken and all I need is oil and this and sit
I
there and
ain't
mix it up.
talking about frying nothing in mustard.
No, there's no frying. It's all you do is all it is an egg and oil, and you mix it up, and you got mayonnaise. Mustard, you have to grow a plant and squish the seeds into mustard, and then you have to mix other crap in there.
Mustard seeds, like Fairy says.
Yeah, no, not mustard greens, mustard seed.
Hello, Mr. Boswell. Welcome to the big top. I can't take Nut House. That's been taken.
That's a
Okay.
truck going down the road.
Well, look, you can't hear a car start up 5 miles away like you
Oh, I
can.
know you can't.
Like lettuce? No. Wait a minute. Hey, you can make mustard out of lettuce.
No,
That's what Lake Fairy just said.
Mustard. It comes from
A seed.
a seed, which is an herb.
Right.
Because you can grow mustard plant. It's
Right.
It's a seed. And, well, there's other spices with it, but
Oh, darn. I thought Lake Fairy was telling me something I didn't know. Doggone it. I'm going to say, I'm going to go buy me a whole bunch of lettuce.
I'm growing lettuce upstairs. It won't never make it out to the garden. I eat it for salad and whatnot. Yeah.
Boss man, you give me a head of lettuce. I'll fry, not boil, but I'll fry you up some cabbage. Wait a minute, hold on.
lettuce?
What did I? Yeah, I just caught what I just
Cabbage,
said. Never
not
mind,
lettuce.
forget it. I'm having a bad week.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to fry that thing for a good long while.
Yeah. I meant cabbage. Duh.
She ain't heading out today.
Yeah, I ain't had my old man nap. Okay, little lone prepper. Wait a minute. Mustard is good for your health in many ways. Thank you. It can help with muscle pain, ringworm, breathing problems, and it can also be used to treat cancer. And I'm gonna have to start eating more mustard.
Yeah, all that stuff. I can come up with other ways than eating mustard that looks like baby poop.
Baby poop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this
And,
right here is probably a little bit
and
cheaper.
especially the newborn babies. That's all
Yeah.
it looks like. They poop is mustard.
Lively Prepper said, where did she go? Wait a minute. She took, oh, darn, every time I got ready to read, it moves. Miss Bear, hello, sweet lady.
So I say.
But to get back to what you was talking about before I so rudely interrupted you
And got on that subject of
a
mustard.
half hour ago. You was talking about cans,
Yeah.
food and everything. And I did see your video this time that you had mentioned laying food down. Excuse me, laying canned food down, and it could be contaminated like that.
Well, no.
And
no.
I asked the question, how would you tell?
No, if it did contaminate, if you got a can and you said it this way,
Right.
and everything travels up because that's where the air pocket will be in your can.
Correct.
Say that you're laying it this way because I tell everybody don't lay your cans sideways. You lay them up the way they were designed. That's how they come in the store, except for them weird soup things that come in that rack that you pull one out and they come out. But if you have it sideways and say there's a bad can, because you get bad cans. If you lay it sideways, that stuff is going to come to the top. And if you get mold up in this area,
Correct.
then you go like this, you open your can and you dump it. How are you going to know if your can's contaminated or not? Unless you look inside the can and say, oh, there's stuff growing on there. Well,
see, that was the question that I asked.
Yeah, that's why I say you store them like this, because if you store them like that and there is something bad in there, because I opened that one can and you seen, because I did a short on it, and you seen the mold growing on top of it, you already know not to eat that. And the whole thing, when somebody before they open it, they shake it up. And I'm like, no, don't shake it up, because you don't know if there's something bad at the top of that can. So if you open it, and then one of the first things you do is look at the top of the lid. Is there stuff in the inside of the lid? Is there stuff there that doesn't look right? Then you look in the can. You can plainly see if there's something there or not.
Okay, now, Bouncer asked, newer cans are lined with plastic but don't last as long as the old ones.
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about with they have aluminum cans now and they have tin cans. The tin cans will actually last 5 to 10 years longer than the aluminum ones, because aluminum will break down faster from the seal. From the inside, you got a plastic seal and then aluminum. The in-between area right there will break down before the tin ones. The tin ones will last 10 to 15 years longer, depending how everything is stored too.
What you need to do is next time you open up a can, kind of get one or kind of get two cans, one with each one with the aluminum and one with the other one, and show the people, what to look for and so forth.
That's why the first thing I thought was, oh man, this is good. This is a good thing to teach people about that can. And I looked in the can, there was that mold, and I said, this is what happens. And it still had 2 years before the sell by date.
Huh.
And it's just because it could be anything from maybe it was coming from California, and they broke down in Arizona somewhere to where it got 120 degrees, and then they drove up here where it's colder, and then you don't know where all this stuff comes from and stuff.
Oh, Mr. Boswell is smart. That's why it's tin TV and not aluminum TV. But
And
I mean,
you go back in the 80s, you realize that the cans were thicker.
oh yeah,
The seals were stronger and stuff. That stuff back there probably could last 10, 15 years, depending what it was and how it was stored again. And that's the thing. You want to keep even your dry goods, you want to keep it at a certain temperature. You want to keep it in a dark place. That's why when you're making tinctures and things like that, they always tell you to keep it in a dark place for 6 weeks. And it's because the sun can have an effect on whatever tincture it is.
I'm sitting here.
Not to mention heat.
I didn't get my biscuit.
Biscuit.
Well, now, Melvita says she gave everyone a homemade biscuit and a hug. I didn't get my biscuit. Well, now, how many people in here in chat know how to make your own, what do you call that? Hell, if I tell you how, never mind.
A biscuit?
No, I know how to do the biscuit. Open up a can of them. Yeah, I can't think of the name of what it's called.
Oh,
What is
can't.
No. Okay.
Can I buy
Forget
a vowel?
you can probably buy all of them. It won't help me. Okay. Daddy used to tell me when he was coming up how he kept his food from spoiling and everything. They dug a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
That's it. A cellar.
Fruit cellar? Yeah.
Yeah. But like that right there. And now I'm looking to where people are going out and buying tin cans, trash cans, digging a hole in the ground, and let's say putting the hole, I'm going to say trash can, in the hole except for the top. But they kind of throw straw over it and everything, keep people from finding it. That also helps. Now, my question to this right here, you got wintertime rolling around. Let's say in your area of bushcraft, okay?
Yeah.
Wouldn't the cold weather freeze what's in a can like that or not?
that's where the frost line comes in. You got to know where the frost line is. So
But-
if you're in your area, you can call a construction person or whatever and say, "What's the frost line?" And they say 2 feet.
18 inches in my area.
Yeah, it's well over 2 feet here. There's some places it's like 4 feet. So you have to go under that bit.
Frost line.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a person goes, I'm using this as an example, under 2 feet. When they cover it back up and the ground done got hard and shift hits, it's going to be a pain to dig that up
Well,
when the ground is
you don't
frozen.
bury it.
Well, didn't you just say it had to go below the frost line? And we're talking the 55-gallon metal trash can.
Yeah.
Does the whole thing have to go under the frost line?
Yeah, as long as it's below that, that's the thing. There's better ways than digging a little hole and putting a trash can in there.
Right.
You can go and dig at an angle and make to where you can walk into it.
Well, now
That
I'm
way
not talking.
you can have both sides, because you're not going to get very much stuff in that. And if you starve and you're it's going to be stuck there. If there's 2 feet of snow out, that food's going to be fine, but you can't get to it unless you start a fire on top of it and then dig it out. Then you just ruined it.
Well,
Like I said, there's better ways to making fruit
That's
cellars and stuff.
well, there is, but like I said, I've been watching or seeing here on YouTube where people are burying trash cans like that. And
That's not for fruit cellars.
Yeah,
That's a stash.
that's more shit. If I'm gonna do a stash, you ain't gonna find it but me.
Yeah. And I do mine in 5-gallon buckets. And I have multiple in different areas, so that if I ever have to, which I got like another year, I might actually record that, but I've got another year on one that needs to be replaced.
You know what?
I have them in there for 3 years.
Ginger Ninja give me a good idea. 758. When you were saying metal trash can, I was thinking of a dumpster being buried as a storm shelter. Well, if I was going to bury a dumpster like that, I'd go rent a backhoe first to dig that hole. I ain't doing that with no shovel.
Oh, I wouldn't do it anymore. Yeah, I go rent a machine and learn how to do it real quick.
That's what I'm talking about. Go rent me a backhoe. I can operate a backhoe or a track hoe.
Yeah, and that's another thing I keep seeing. People burying trash cans, and they put all their electronics in there, laying them on the ground inside of a trash can, putting a lid on there, and says now it's EMP proof. No,
Bullshit.
it's not. It's still, because it's wrapped in metal doesn't mean it's going to do anything, because you have, say this is my cell phone and that's the bottom of the trash can. You put that on top of there, it's electrified. There's no conduit there. And they're telling people how to do this, and this is how you make a EMP proof for your electronics and stuff. He puts his radio in there, and he puts flashlights and all kinds of stuff in there, and like, you can come back. Yeah, that's not how you do that.
Well, now, I don't know how true this is, but I've heard people say put it in the dishwasher, put it in the microwave. The best way to find out if it is EMP proof, is go get you a portable radio, turn it on, find you a strong station,
No,
stick it in there. If you can hear it, it's not EMP proof.
no, that doesn't work. Even if it goes, you put your, this is the way that everybody says that, well, it's EMP proof. They put their cell phone in there and they try to call it. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, it's good. No, you just stop the signal for going through. That's not going to stop a big blast of an electric wave going through everything. And yeah,
But I'm gonna say
there's,
something else.
there's no
and
way
that-
to 100% prove that these little bags they give you, that you stick your phone in and your electronics and say, oh, it's going to work. There is no proof that they can't prove that an EMP that went off over your head, because they can only do it at scales and then estimate if it's going to work. They don't know the effect that a big one would have. The big
now-
ones that they do have.
cheddar, pepper, prepper. God, I gotta say that slow. You have to line the trash can with a non-conductor and put a ground wire from an extension cord to it. I wrap my power inverter with an EMP proof cloth as well. Well, let me say something right quick. Okay. I don't care if you've got a cell phone, if you've got a TV, if you've got a radio. EMP happens, it's going to knock out all towers that are above ground. So
Yeah.
what good is a radio, cell phone, TV if you ain't got no towers for it to connect with?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only thing I can think that a person would need would probably be a two-way radio. That's it.
No, there's something else real
What
important.
about
Well, depending on the
wireless?
vehicle.
No, I'm talking about like a walkie-talkie like.
No, well, who you, unless you have the other one, it's useless.
Well, that's
No.
what I'm saying. Have two, and if you have multiple people, you can hand one to the other one, but it can go depending on line of sight. That's what I'm going to use. Can be good for 2, maybe 5 miles, but that's it.
Yeah.
That you can talk with.
Yeah. The
Like that.
only problem with
Because-
those is if somebody else has one, they can track where
Mhm.
you're at.
Well, that's true.
It's harder, but you can actually track. And the same thing with CBs. You can track where somebody's using a CB, because they have ways to track in the signals. So
Well,
if you
that's
think
true.
it's me and
You
you out
know.
in the woods and there's nobody out there, and you're talking, well, I'm going to go over here and get all this stuff over here. And then if there's somebody that has another CB or another radio that can pick that signal up, then you just gave out all kinds of information that you thought was private. There are ones that you put a code in that's real hard to break, but again, that's for me. There are certain things that I would want if I knew 100% that an EMP wouldn't affect inside a magical box. I would want something and an inverter. That way I could convert battery into electricity. I would want a solar converter, put that in there. I'd want, depending on a vehicle, if I had a vehicle that didn't have a computer in it, I would want extra parts that would get fried first if an
Definitely.
EMP did go off. and I would want those parts in this magical box.
Bobby says 2 cans in the rope. I've used that before, and it works. But it just comes right down to this. I don't think nothing's going to work because your towers is going to be fried.
Well,
okay,
you got to look at it this way: are you gonna whatever that stuff is that you would put in an EMP proof thing? Say these things were going to save your life and whatnot, and you spent all this money to put this stuff in there, and then an EMP did go off, and then you have all this money inside this thing, and you go to open it up and you say it didn't work. Not to mention that is when this EMP goes off, the first thing you got to do is look up, see what's falling down on your head, because there's airplanes up in the sky all the time. Not to mention satellites that's going to be falling down.
Electric cars.
That's the first thing that you're going to worry about. It's not going to be, did my trash can stop an EMP?
Well,
now
Ginger Ninja says, we got walkie-talkies that was supposed to have a 25 to 55 mile range, depending on the location. It wouldn't even pick up less than a quarter of a mile.
Yeah. Sometimes a bunch of trees will block a signal from a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to go 25 miles.
That's why I said line of sight.
Yeah. Even if it's foggy and you know, a lot of humidity in the air, it won't go that far.
Just get you 2 cans with string,
And a
hang
rope.
the other one to the other one.
Well, now, the best I've ever gotten from a CB radio was at nighttime because it would
does the bounce.
Right, it bounces, and that bounce can carry a long, long way. You know, and I've heard of people having one here in the States and talking to people in Germany on it, you know, off of a bounce.
I tried talking some, I don't know what languages they were talking. They were talking a storm off to me, but I have no idea what the hell they were saying. And I'm like, I don't know if you understand this, but I don't understand you.
Chef Kicker posted Prepping 101, 8:10 p.m. Central. Oh, shit, Central. Never mind. Okay.
Hey, Rebel Canners. Yeah, and we were talking about salt earlier. A Rebel Canner, she's allergic to iodine.
Really?
So that's what I was saying. If you get somebody that's allergic to that iodine, but they need salt, what are you going to do? You only have salt that has iodine in it. You're kind of screwed there.
Okay, so what you're saying is Rebel Canner has like salt, but she has to have a special kind of salt.
Well,
it can't be iodized.
I use the pink stuff, the Himalayan salt.
Right.
Because it's.
Now I got some of that.
Yeah. Anytime I see them big containers and they go on size, I grab it really quick.
Al Bundy has posted, I doubt an EMP is that powerful today. If it was, our bodies are basically a battery. What would it do to us anyway?
Well, the thing is that there has been EMPs and stuff that they can only test at a certain much or a certain range
limit
of it. And
Right.
the thing is, the ones that they have made, they have never set off because they're just too powerful, and they'll knock out stuff from. They could have hundreds of miles distance, and it's so powerful it'll go past that, so they can't test them. They've even said this, that they haven't tested their biggest EMPs that they would fire from space. So they're already up there, is my guess, because they said they fired from space, unless it's, the other kind of.
Lively Prepper also posted, they're saying pink Himalayan salt is bad for us now.
Well, it depends if what kind of the minerals that, if your body can't handle the minerals.
Okay.
And like for canning, they say not to use pink Himalayan salt because of the coloring and the minerals. So that's where I use, cannon salt, and it doesn't have anything in there like iodine or the chemicals that they put in.
Now, I'll agree with what Mr. Boswell posted. An EMP could affect anyone with a heart pacemaker.
Oh yeah, they already said it would. It would, because you'll see a bunch of people just drop, especially the one, because there are different types of ones. There are ones that if your heart stops for a period of time, it zaps it and tells, hey, wake up. And then there's some that just constantly does a zoop, zoop, zoop to keep your heart going.
Now, that's what they was wanting to put in me, was that type.
Yeah. And that's the one, if an EMP went off, it would fry that. I don't know how bad it would fry it. And that's the other thing, that they can only speculate some of this stuff. It's like a major guess, because it's something that doesn't go off all the time.
Yeah. Now, I'll have to remind me when we get in the back room about a pacemaker, because I saw something a couple of years ago I thought was funny, but now it ain't that funny no more. But I'll explain later. That's something I can't say up here.
Yeah, that's the and the work they've done to they'll have a like a warehouse, and they'll have it grounded to the ground and all kinds of special things to where it won't go outside of this room. And that's how they test the EMP. They'll spoot off a little EMP and see if it goes, if it's protected in this little case. The thing is that thing going to be protected like 1,000 times more powerful one than that? Like those little envelopes where they have the little Velcro, and they put their cell phone in there, which unless you have like pictures and digital maps or something like that, or books or something on a cell phone.
Right. Well, now
need that.
I saw something today you may want to bring up on 10, either you or Mr. Boswell tonight. All right. I'll explain it when he gets back.
I need some more water.
Okay. If you don't go up on 10 tonight, maybe Mr. Boswell will. But I saw an article today, matter of fact, that there is let's say a big hole in the sun that's fixing to send a lot of rays our way.
That was last week.
Was it last week?
Yeah, 10 showed it.
Okay. Well, never mind then. Forget it.
Yeah. And because I said it looked like a cat. The one picture on one side kind of looked like a cat, and the other one looked like something else, and they were kissing. And there's a
Uh-oh.
big black hole in the middle of it.
Huh.
But it was facing away from
There's the rain.
Earth. So if it was a little bit more over to the right, then it could have hit us.
So it really did miss us, more or less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we did get hit from some.
Yeah, but not the blunt force.
A couple days ago, we got hit.
Now I remember them saying we got hit, a couple of days ago, but I didn't think it was from that one. I thought the one I saw today is a new one that's coming.
I don't know. Yeah, she was talking about it before we started the live, and she was going to bring it up, and never did bring it up.
Well, I be. Melvita, if you're leaving, lady, you have a good evening. But I mean, for everybody in chat, write down what you think is the number one prep everybody needs to be prepping on.
Well, that's
I'm
easy.
Sure. That. Don't say nothing right yet. Me and you've talked about this quite a few times, but I'm just curious. Darn it.
Wrong.
Cheddar pepper prepper. I think hit the nail on the head. Water.
Nope. Well,
What?
Al's kind of right too, though.
Whoa, wait a minute.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I got to go with water.
And I like that, but no, it's not a pew pew either. And no, it's not Agent J's underwear. Come on, somebody gotta get it. Nope, not a gas mask.
Really? TH2, come on.
You guys are thinking with all these ideas, but I haven't seen the right one yet.
I will swore them down. It would have been water.
Nope.
What's the question?
Well, just like that show I was telling you about.
No. Ooh.
No, it's not money either. Like that show I was telling you about. Everybody's out looking for the water, and that one lady goes like this and drinks the water. The night she's out of it. And why
Water.
they found water? Yes, that's good, but why? Because she didn't have the knowledge. That's the number one prep, your brain, the knowledge. Because you can have water, but if you don't know how to purify it, you're just going to poison yourself.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't know enough to prep, I can have all this stuff, but if one thing happens that you don't know nothing about, that could be the end of you.
Well, now it's like I've said, right many times. You can get water out of a stream, but be charming. Oh well, I'm done for. Boil it. You know, I've said that time and time again. Boil your water, but just because you boil it does not mean you're going to get everything out of it. It's got to be purified. Still, that's one way of purifying it.
Well, you don't. That's the thing. What do you boil water for? It's get the
It's
bacteria out, because at a certain temperature it kills the pathogens and bacteria. If there's chemicals in the water, you may have made that water turn into a toxic that's going to make you glow funny when you pee.
Oh, that's when you give it to somebody you really don't care about. Let them try.
Yeah, but if you know where, and like the well, let's see how many people know. I'm pretty sure some will know because they're up in Alaska and knowledge of Alaska. So if you have water that's coming off of a river or something and you drink it, and what's it called when there's beavers swimming in that water, and is that water good? I'm waiting for the answer. I kind of figured somebody will know it. Technically, there's a disease that you can catch if a beaver water.
It's TD.
No, it's not arsenic.
Cat scratch fever, cheddar prepper.
I think that's the I think that's the slang for it, but that's not the actual disease. It's called Giardia. Oh, there we go.
Hell, I take Jardiance every morning.
and it's from, you know, the beaver's going to swim in there and he's going to take a dump in the water. Yeah, and that's the other thing, they call it beaver fever. Not the Justin Bieber one, but the other one.
Thank God.
And that's what happened. That girl, she said, all this water that's coming off the river here, it's good, because it was the first fresh water they found. And she drank it, and they're like, no, don't. And well, we don't know. She only drank a little bit. She only drank a cup, so she might be fine. And then that night she's up barfing like crazy, and she tapped.
Hi, Mr. Boswell. You have a good evening. Shift kicker. Okay. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Let me back it up. No, that's Geritol.
That's Geritol. Giardia.
No, mine starts with J.
And that doesn't, and that's the thing. When people were coming across heading out west to Oregon and stuff, the Oregon Trail, the video game, how many people died from drinking the water and stuff?
Oh, I forgot about that one. Well,
they don't. The animals poop and pee in the water, and you get all kinds of dysentery and all kinds of stuff. And that's the thing. If you see a stream, oh, that's nice, crystal clean water, but you don't know what's upstream.
Just because it looks fresh.
Just taking a leak in the water, and you're drinking from them. Oh, I know. Yeah, and I pay attention to where my water comes from now in the bottled water and stuff. And it says, "Oh, packaged." And the water at Walmart or Family Dollar. Yeah, Family Dollar. It was on sale, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And because it was really, really cheap, and I was pulling the package around, looking, and it says it was packaged in the same county that in East Palestine, the same county, and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not drinking that water."
Yeah,
but
like, did they bottle
on sale?
Did they bottle that water before the?
Yeah. Would you want to take a chance on it?
No.
If it was bottled before or after the spill? And the one here that from Rural King, natural spring water from some weird name place in Montana. To me, that's good water in Montana.
Well, we went to Wally World tonight, and I bought a thing of water up there that was it was 40 things to a container. Now you got me thinking I'm gonna have to go in there and check and see where that comes from.
Yeah. Hopefully it wasn't Pure Life.
I don't know what it was. It was Walmart brand.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Pure Life you want to stay away from because it's just tap water and they add chemicals to it.
No,
they even say it's tap water on there, I think. Let me see.
What was the name of that one? Deer Park. Is that pretty good water or not? Deer Park. Sure. Water tastes like water oughta. That's two deers talking. I shall return in a minute.
Okay. Here, I think here it is. Yeah, it's just in your local area where it's tap water that they add a 12-step process of chemicals and filters to make it drinkable. Yeah, and they just had a recall from Connecticut, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania for Pure Life. Now, Crystal Falls used to be good. I don't know if it still is anymore, but that used to be really good stuff. And the ones that there was one that was supposed to be Argent, deep well spring water or something like that, and they tracked it down, and it came right from the faucet in Florida. No, charcoal won't take out the chemicals. That has to be it depends on what the chemical is too. So, because some chemicals you can just boil off, and then some, if you don't know what the chemical is, then you can actually create a toxin from boiling it. Because like that, the chemical that was spelt here, it wasn't really that bad of a chemical unless it came in contact with fire. Once it burned, it created a bigger toxin. The way to get rid of chemicals is the ultra UV lighting or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. And my grandpa used to tell me one of the best, if you find a mountain spring or something and it has tadpoles in it, he said that's some of the freshest water you get because it has the tadpoles in it. And I thought, well, they're probably pooping and peeing in there, but he says that's the best water you can get. He says if it's coming out of the mountain and there's no life in there, then it's got something in it, because in the hills of Ohio, especially the southern area, it's all coal mine, and some of the coal mines, the sulfur from them coal mines will leak into the mountains and stuff, and then that's where you get the sulfur and stuff that contaminates the water. Yeah, that's what it is. Reverse osmosis. Yeah. Yeah, I forget what it was, that real expensive bottle, plastic. They had a real expensive bottle. This is real expensive water, and they ended up finding out it was just tap water from Florida. Didn't run through a filter or nothing. They were just pumping it. They had a water hose hooked up there, and it would filling up all the bottles, and they had the machine that would cap it and everything. And it's like, you guys are spending all that extra money on just regular old water. Yeah, Fuji water. That's what it was. I don't think it's the same thing anymore, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's still the same anymore than that they had to actually get filtered water and stuff, and that's the thing, you don't know where this comes from and whatnot. Well, it could be just a regular water that you get out of the city tap water. Doesn't come from a spring or anything, just comes from the city.
All right, for some of y'all, good news. I'm back. You know what? I just saw what Shift Kicker posted, 101. Has he been back in the room?
No, he just said hi when we first started up.
Yeah, I know. Normally he's by this time, can he get a link?
Yeah, he'll probably, about the time we get ready to end it, he'll did I get a link? And well, you just got up here, we're ending it.
Sorry. But I had to get me something to snack on. We went and got cheese sticks, extra sharp.
What?
Cheese sticks.
Oh.
One
Didn't
minute.
sound like you said stick. Oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah. Huh.
yeah. I got to make sure when I shut the stream down, I have to go to Rumble and actually stop the stream because it actually keeps running.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You actually have to shut it down. Unlike everything else. Yeah.
Ginger Ninja, trust me, and I'm not saying this to be a smart aleck. I'm really glad I cannot do nothing until the 3rd in mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and the wife.
I got a lot of purple dead nettles today. I'm
Really?
still going to get some more so I can have enough because I want to have some for tea and I want to have some for tincture. I'm going to make a tincture.
Well, now, like I said, earlier, me and the wife, we went to Wally World, and we got to looking, and I saw some things I would love to lay my hands on. There is like a heating mat for starter trays, and they got lamps,
Amazon. Amazon.
Oh, I know.
They're
I
way
ain't paying
cheaper at Amazon.
$45 for a grow light. I'm sorry.
I got 4 for $24. 4 grow lights. They're 2 feet long.
Yeah. Shit, I'll go to the pot store and buy mine before I pay that much for them. Oh, sorry.
But $24 is really cheap for grow lights, and they're not the the ones that have a long bulb across. It's I forget what it's called, but
Well,
they're 3 different colors so they boost the growing speed. And the mats I paid $12 for the heat mats.
well, now answer this question. For some people, it's going to be a dumb question, but I've never asked. How about everybody is buying heat mats? What about a heating pad? Couldn't you use something like that?
It doesn't really control. You would actually probably burn a hole in your trays.
Really?
Because you want you want the perfect temperature. You want 68 to 75 ish and that's only for certain plants. Like if you're starting peppers and tomatoes, you want them within that range because all the other stuff can be cold. They'll germinate in cold weather, but peppers and tomatoes, you want warm temperatures.
Okay.
And my tomatoes have already germinated in 2 days.
Come on.
They were up. Yep. And I've got cucumbers up, came up in like 4 days. And I've got a bunch of flowers because flowers are important.
Yeah, because they're going to draw the bees, and with them right there, that's what's going to germinate everything.
Yeah.
Around us, this guy just put up 500 acres of land for sale. He's not going to be farming it this year. I may go buy me a whole damn wheelbarrow or truckload of flower seeds, and I go out and plant them all the way around our place here to draw in bees.
Yeah. Well, we'll be live one night and all you hear is zzz.
No, you'll be hearing.
We're gonna-
No, you got that one. Those wood borer bees,
Oh, mud daubers, yeah.
not mud daubers, wood borers. You know, the bumblebees with the boars holes.
Carpenter bees, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, them things are little assholes. I'm sorry. But there was one flying around my head the other day, and I reached up, I popped it. And I think he brought his mama back with him. And I said, all right, that's it. Well, you know, I went in the house and got my electric fly swatter. I hit that one, and that other one flew, and I ain't seen another one around my head since then.
Yeah, you know they actually have a photographic memory.
They do.
Yeah, and they'll actually tell, and I don't know how much this is true, but they say that they'll tell their offsprings and stuff about you. And
Yeah.
if they see you, they'll attack you. I don't know how much that part is true, but that's what I don't know how they figure this stuff out, but yeah, that's what they say.
Well, now the one I read about, which I know what you're talking about, and they showed a picture, but it was not of a black bumblebee, you know, that bores holes in wood like that. Not around here anyway.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I'm going to have to move because there's about 500 that fly around out here.
All their youngins know who you are.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the one that zapped Grandpa. Get him.
But, you know, that kind of makes you wonder, how many offsprings do they have at a time? Boy,
I guess
I'm
that's one way of doing it. I sprayed my eyes with WD-40 and they don't mess with my eyes.
Huh.
Well, we know not to take medical advice from TJ. Put WD-40 on it. Hey, Agent J.
Oh.
Is that what they call those? Mosquitoes.
Oh. We got something like that in our coast. Even the Chihuahuas are scared to go outside at dusk.
Well, Bee Charming still here? Bee Charming probably knows about the big flying cockroaches they have down in Florida.
Oh Lord.
Man, we got flying cockroaches around here too. Bee Charming's here.
1,500 eggs a day.
My God. Palomino bugs. That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think wildlife can back me up on what I'm fixing to say. You get to the coast down around there, and right after, let's say, a storm or whatever, it's when the mosquitoes get bad. But by God, you can hear them suckers coming a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
Outdoors.
I remember the first time I thought it was a bat was chasing me. It was a dang flying cockroach.
Really?
Yeah.
You in Florida now? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Georgia. It was summer, and it just turned nighttime, and the whole freaking field was lit up with lightning bugs. I remember it's the most lightning bugs I ever seen in one little field. And I was going around with a mason jar, filling that jar up.
Get you that
Well,
with
now,
kids.
let me see. Where did I see that? Yeah, Rebel Canner says giant water beetles are as big as bats. They swim and fly and crawl. Damn, that sounds like target practice to me.
Yeah. That's when you get you a friendly chicken to hang out with you.
Chicken, you better get some guineas, a whole flock of them. Them guineas would be so caught picking fat they couldn't walk. Shinoa, the Madagascar roaches are huge and they are infesting Florida. And no, I'm not. The rest of it's a private joke.
Oh yeah, guineas are really good. That and donkeys. Everybody says, what do you want a donkey for? And I said, that's one of the best. It can be even better than a guard dog. And they can sense a threat coming, and they'll grab it by its teeth and do this little wonky thing and
Yeah.
throw dogs or a wolf or coyotes away.
They'll kill a wolf or coyote.
Yeah. A wolf, not a pack, though.
Yeah. But, and I have never rode a donkey, so I do not exactly know if this is true or not. But they said between a donkey and a horse, a donkey is the Cadillac. They say it is a smoother ride than a horse.
I don't know. I've rode on a donkey and a horse, and they're both uncomfortable to me. So I don't know.
Well, the last time I rode a horse, and it's been many, many moons ago, the horse turned left and I fell right. I didn't have a saddle on him. I thought I could be a man and ride him bareback. Boy, was I wrong.
I ride a horse's back bareback.
Had that.
That bone don't feel so hot either.
Hello, Garner, Josh.
Oh, darn, it didn't work. Supposed to work. Let me see if it works here.
Well, now, back when I was between the 3rd and the 5th grade, I rode ponies and horses.
Yeah, you got to type in.
And I not got back up on one till I was what?
No.
Damn near. It was almost 40 years ago. That was the last time I rode one. So, unless it's got a saddle on it, my butt ain't getting up there. And then I have to be the one to put the quarter in the slot.
I remember when I lived in I can't remember the name of the town. It was a little town outside of Albuquerque, probably about 60 miles away from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and lived out in the country. And my dad had a trailer, and there next to the trailer there was a old shed, and I converted it into my own little apartment. And down the road, and at that time I had stepbrothers, and down the road, me and one of my stepbrothers picked up a couple girls and they said, "You want to ride home?" And we thought they were going to, drive us home, and found out they got on the horses, says, "Jump on up." And the girl I was with was like probably about 1.5 feet taller than me at the time. And and I was I got up there, and I said, "I have nothing to hold on to." And she said, "Well, you're supposed to hold on to me." And I said, "Okay." And grabbed my arms around. And yeah, there's a way you're supposed to ride a horse that I didn't know about then. And it was very uncomfortable. Boing, boing, boing.
Pray to God you don't get on one bareback.
I did.
Well, I've got on those.
Bareback.
Yeah. I actually preferred it better than that saddle. The only thing is you gotta have some muscles down there to squeeze your legs together, which I didn't figure that out until the horse took off, and I went the other way.
Uh-huh.
He did his little thump 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 and took off, and I went dum and went the woo.
Well, now, the very first time I ever got up on a horse, girl from up the road, her and a friend of hers was riding on the dirt road, Yeah, we had dirt roads back then. And
you had roads?
Yeah, they were dirt too.
Dirt roads.
And girl stopped there in front of the house, and she asked me, she said, "You want to ride?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." She said, "You remember Roy Rogers, or know who Roy Rogers is?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I can make my horse do like his, kind of flare up." Well, she didn't put my ass in the saddle. She put me behind the saddle and told me to hold on. So I thought I was holding on, and she kicked him and went, "How?" Like that. The horse reared up. My ass hit the rocks. I wouldn't get back up on that horse.
She did that on purpose, probably.
Oh, I know she did. And yes, be charming. I have also been bucked from a many horses, and that's a long way down on your back.
Yeah, I got dared to ride a bronc. And the thing is, the horse was really nice until they strapped something onto his whats.
Yeah.
And they did a cringe like this. Whoa! Oh man.
You had fun.
Up and down. Oh.
They had fun watching you.
Yeah. I stayed on it though. But I didn't do the one-handed thing. I had both hands holding on to that.
I would have damn near choked that horse with my arms. Now, what I hate, and I've had a pony, okay? And yes, that pony was a smart ass. And I'll put it to you every bit of the way. I'd be on him just a galloping down the road. The damn horse would all of a sudden do a brake check, but my body would not do the brake check with it. The horse would stop.
You go forward.
I would go over his head, and you could literally hear the horse laugh.
Yeah. One person I knew that had this horse, and they said the horse's name, and I'm like, that's a weird name. And I asked her, I said, where'd you come up with this name? And well, the name of the horse was called Tit Yeller. And
What?
Like, why would you name a horse this? And she's, well, it'll bite you right on the nip and you'll yell. I didn't believe it. And we were sitting there in the next stall, and she reaches over to grab something off one of the harnesses or whatever they call them. Went over and grabbed it, and she grabbed it, and turning around. I thought, well, I guess that's a good name for him.
Oh, Lordy. So, I mean, horses are a beautiful animal.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
I love it.
But they can be a butt at times.
They can be
Yeah.
stubborn too.
Way they're treated and stuff too. Just
Well,
like any other animal.
Shetland pony. That's what I had. Okay.
Oh.
Them some mean little shits. But anytime I wanted to ride the pony, I had to go to the other end. I had to walk with a saddle and a bridle to get the horse.
It was bridle. That's what it was.
And it got to the point I was just taking the bridle with me, you know, and going to ride him back and saddle him up. Well, out in the field, there was a huge oak tree. And if I didn't throw my leg back over his back, but I would have got knocked off the horse, because that's how close he got to the tree. Okay. I mean, it would have messed my leg up something bad. And I said, all right, next time he does that, I'll get him back. Now, this is cruel, and I don't recommend anybody doing this. I went out there, I put a bridle on him. He was getting close to that tree. I turned him into that tree. He hit the tree. I hit the tree and the horse's head when I went off of it. But that pony never got close to that tree again. Good Lord, Appaloosa.
Yeah, that would hurt, wouldn't it? Well, I'm sure
That
it hurt
was-
hitting
That's a pretty,
your tit bit too, but yeah.
that's a pretty good ways down compared to a Shetland pony. Susie D, many horses are nearsighted, meaning to them, I don't care. That horse wasn't that dead burn nearsighted to get that damn close to the
We
tree.
don't know that.
Well, guys, I
And
think
let
we're
me tell you
gonna-
something else not to do. Call it.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead and finish it. Unless it's like a 15-minute
Yes.
story, but
No, it ain't far. Long, maybe 13 minutes. Don't throw horse feed on top of a 55-gallon drum, and while the horse is eating, jump on his back to ride him. You're going to have scars that's going to last you the rest of your life. So that's it. That's what not to do.
oh, hey, Ed. How's it going? I haven't seen you for a good while. I know you stopped your YouTube for a bit. Hope you're doing good though. Well, guys, we're gonna go ahead and end it. It's 9:00. We'll head over to 101. He will sure have something good to talk about. If not, we'll make it go our way anyway.
Oh, trust
We
me.
usually change his whatever he's talking about. We usually end up changing it anyway.
Yeah. Yes. No, we don't do that. Everybody, have a good evening.
Yeah, and we will see. I'm not going to have a live this Wednesday or Friday because I'll have my birthday one Saturday. Instead of
You
Friday-
having a birthday? That's right.
Yeah, instead of Friday, I'm gonna have it on Saturday. But we'll be over at Jeff's Thursday though,
Yes, definitely.
and
Unless the tornado comes through.
well, don't talk like that. You got to knock on wood.
No.
Well, 1 minute. Damn, my head does sound like wood, don't it?
Okay, we'll catch you over at 101's, or we'll catch you Thursday over at Jeff's. Everybody have a great day, and thanks, mods, for keeping the riffraff out, and we'll catch you on the next one.